Hi, Karishma.
Hi, Deepak.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And if we can just start with getting a bit of context of Baala
Yeah.
as an organization and what is your role primarily in the organization?
Okay, so you all might know it as Project Baala, but we have recently rebranded it to Baala. Um, our main focus is on making menstrual health and sexual and reproductive health accessible, stigma-free, and sustainable for everyone. We do it by three ways. One is to build curriculums which are based on menstrual health, gender, consent, and make it more accessible for communities as well as organizations. We also build the capacity of these organizations and the communities to make their own champions and local leaders who will then ultimately take it forward for their own communities. And the third and most important aspect, and where I come in, is also that we are building evidence and making more advocacy around the fact that this is a place that people don't really talk much about. So building that evidence and generating it and putting it out there in terms of what's actually happening for the state of menstrual health and sexual reproductive health in India. So that's how we are working. My work here is mainly on developing the monitoring and evaluation arm of Project Bala. So as part of evidence, and also supporting the other teams into generating evidence and generating research pieces for them. So
That's quite a big ask actually. And that also calls for a lot of data that you are kind of
Correct.
dealing with right now, which also tends to be on the private side of it because it's around menstruation. It's
Yeah.
something that people do not actually easily share.
Mhm.
So how important is data to you as an organization at this point?
I think actually you answered it for me, given that the fact that it's hidden and it's invisible, and that's where we come in. We're trying to make this data visible, and the only way to do that is to ask questions, is to collect data, is to talk more on these platforms about how menstrual health has been, changed across the country as in right now. So because there are certain metrics which are out there, but not the entire experience of things. So that's why data is extremely crucial for us, because we want to, at the end of the day, make this invisible visible. So
Yeah.
that's where it
And
comes.
with that, you so understand the importance of data that you have currently and you're dealing with. But what made you look for, say, other alternatives to make sense of it or draw insights from it? Or any specific challenges that you were facing with it?
Right now, our major challenge is that our data is very scattered. Okay, the more the context specific it is, the more scattered the data looks like. So we have data coming in from, say, rural areas, very rural, remote areas, as well as from very urban workspaces, as well as from different kinds of schools. So we do collect that kind of data. We are trying our level best to make it more visible, but at the moment it's very scattered. And we are trying to make sense of it by getting everything together and seeing it as a holistic picture and not just as a singular intervention.
And now that you're sort of, established the problem, you also know what the data is. So you're also looking at adopting Dalgo as a
Yeah.
solution to kind of, draw more insights out of it. So how's that journey been of selecting Dalgo? Where does it fit in that sort of problem-solving category for you?
I think what it majorly solves for is to get all the scatter data at one place. So basically getting every data source, including whatever we have on different ways of collecting data. So may it be quantitative or qualitative, a Kobo Toolbox versus anything else. Getting everything in one place, it makes our life much easier, because now we're able to see trends across programs, across different geographies. I think we were, in a way, exploring where we can actually start pivoting in terms of the data infrastructure. Should we change the way we collect data? Should we change the way we visualize data? Should we change the way we analyze data? I think right now we are at a very comfortable place to say that, okay, we are okay with collecting data because that's going great. Let's just try to get everything in one place and build that pipeline from there on, and then see how that goes. And I think Dalgo has been very instrumental in helping us figure that out as well, whether we want to change the entire pipeline or parts of those pipeline. And I've known Dalgo previously as well. They worked in different organizations, so I know how they work. So it was also a very comfortable ask as well. So getting
And how comforting was it to work with the team? And what was the onboarding experience like for you right now working with Bala and adopting Dalgo for them?
I think it's very comfortable also because they come from a sort of similar philanthropy space, because they've already worked with certain NGOs, and so they know how the infrastructure looks like. They know that, we could come up with certain ask which is not going to be helpful for us in the future. So we might not have that much of insight, but they bring in a lot of sector knowledge in terms of what dashboards can look like, what will they what is the kind of effort that we need to put in before and after that. So I think that sort of helped us get into a very good space of, getting our expectations clear. So yeah, I think it's been very comfortable. The team has been very kind, to say the least, and also understanding a lot about what we want and what we don't.
And is there some aha moment that you came across when you started, using Dalgo as a team?
I think for me, it was more on the Dalgo 2.0. So we knew that this was something that we were going towards, and we didn't want it to be another software which is just going to help us collate data. We wanted to see what more can it do, how can it differentiate us also from everyone else in terms of what we are doing. So I think the aha moment came in when we saw that, oh, this AI, this is a great way to use actually AI in actually generating new insights on menstrual health and looking at different parameters in relation to that. So when I talk about menstrual health, so it's like age at menarche, what age do you start menstruating, looking at it as per as different socio-demographic factors. And then you see how the new version is going to help us bridge that gaps in terms of visualization and not so much analysis. I think that is something that actually hooked us on, and we are still there, and we are waiting for the 2.0 to come in so that it goes like really well for us as well.
Nice. And with all of these changes, like you are excited about the new changes that you're bringing in, but mostly the NGOs and the people in the on-ground program teams are not really excited about changing the way they work. So how has that been in terms of adoption for the team? Has it been easy, difficult, challenging?
I think what worked for us is that we are not changing the way people collect data. So at the moment, we're using Dalgo to change the second level of pipeline, which is more, M&E driven. So all of us are very happy with those changes coming in. I think the maximum issue would be on changing certain parameters that they collect. So that wouldn't be much of a problem, because once they see the end goal of where we are headed towards, it's easy to then convince them to say that, maybe you're collecting 100 data points. Let's reduce it to a crisp 30 and say that this is going to work for us. So because we did part of the pipeline, it's not been such a challenge for adoption.
Yes. And before they close the conversation, so any thoughts and plans on, say, the next 6 to 12 months and how it looks for Baala?
I think to get our first really big dashboard, which talks about menstrual intelligence that I spoke to you about, getting all of the parameters on board which are important for policymakers, different organizations, as well as for us, getting that first dashboard out is one of the most important things that we're looking forward to. Now that we've got all the data in one place, so the next 6 to 12 months would actually look like refining that 2-3 dashboards on how we want, what we want, and then going back and hopefully not too much, but hopefully restructuring the way we are also collecting data. So ensuring that those insights also flow back into our own team to make sure what we are collecting is the right kind of data that we want to collect, and also to forge more partnerships with other people in the ecosystem of menstrual health, saying that, hey, we have this data, we don't want to gatekeep it. This is something that we want to show, and we want to invite other people to also contribute to it. So how can we work together? So that's what it's going to look like.
Wonderful. And lastly, any suggestions for NGOs who are looking to adopt, say, Dalgo as a platform, or beginning with the data journey as a whole?
I think just having clarity about what you want to do, and it comes to the fact that most NGOs then depend a lot on the M&E systems to restructure it, but it's a very organization-driven decision that what indicators do we want, what metrics do we want, are we sure that we're going to collect that? I think having that clarity of your theory of change, of your indicators in place, and what you want to do with it really helps make the entire process very easy going forward. So I think more you need to put that one-time effort in pre-work, which is going to take you very easily onto the next level of your data journey.
Great. And thank you so much for bringing this clarity to us on how you are kind of dealing with your data and helping others as well.
It was very tough, and let me tell you that it's not easy. It's very easy for me to sit here and say that, but yeah, it was, like I said, it's very organization driven. So although I look after monitoring and evaluation, everyone on my team has sat down and, reviewed each and every data point with me, saying that is this important for our journey? Is this important for our journey? I think that sort of made it far more easy for me to then take it ahead.
But again, thank you so much for sharing it, at
Thank
least,
you.
because it'll help someone at least learn and grow
Yeah.
out of it, that data fear that they might have. So thank you so much, Karishma.
Thank you.